welcome to my channel. My name is Etago, and today we are going to continue with the episodes of Stories from My Passport. If you're new here, welcome. Grab a seat, take some tea, because today it's going to be amazing. If you can remember from my last episode, I was talking about Argentina, and I started with Buenos Aires. Basically, what are the things I did in Buenos Aires when you're wasted in the morning and you eat that cheese and the onion. Oh god, it was so darn good. Argentina was the height of my drunkenness. Sorry, mom. Only played like what's love got to do for it. What's love?
Hey, hola, ¿cómo estás? Yo me llamo Camilo. Me llamo Camilo y quería comprar un drink para ti.
Like, oh yes, Juan, please serenade me, please. Those were some of the things. I'm just gonna link it down there, and then you can go and look at that and then come back to this video, because today we're gonna focus on Gualeguaychu. Gualeguaychu is not really much known as a tourist destination. When you think of Argentina, you think of Buenos Aires, you think of Patagonia, Ushuaia, but you don't really think of Gualeguaychu, which is like historically has, I think it's close to Brazilian border. I might be wrong, but it has Carnaval. It's the only city in gosh, not in Buenos Aires, oh my gosh, it's the only city in Argentina that has Carnaval. So when we were in Argentina, I said I studied abroad in Argentina for like 5 months, and I did all the things I could do. We decided, you know what guys, we've never been to Carnival, let's go to Carnival. Like, we don't know how this is gonna go, but like, let's just do this. I just want to set this precedent. What happens in Gualeguaychu? Gualeguaychu is like Vegas, stays there.
Gualeguaychu, remember? Gualeguaychu. What happens in Gualeguaychu stays in Gualeguaychu. No.
But clearly it doesn't, because I'm talking about it in this video. And of course, I'm going to be featuring my friends Katie, and Sky, who we did this trip together, and it was yo. Do you know that fool in Proverbs? When they say so sun tonta, we were that fool. Because like the decisions we made trying to go just to Carnaval were crazy. Before I get into that story, I like talking about histories of places. So one of the things that I have been meaning to talk about is the history of black people in Argentina. When I was there, I was more or less fetishized as a black person. If you don't know what fetish means, just go and Google Urban Dictionary, then come back here. So I was fetishized when I would be walking down the street. People would be like, ah, morena, meaning like brown skinned girl. Which in some way you'd think it's nice, but then also it would just highlight how much there aren't that many black people in Buenos Aires. It's very European. I said that in my first video. And so the history of black people at around 1700s, I did take history of Argentina, that's why I know this stuff. In like 1700s, like 50% of Argentina was black. 30 to 40% of it in Buenos Aires was like black or mulattoes, eh? And then, but what happened after that, there's one of the presidents, I think he's called Sarmiento or something, and he basically came in with an agenda to like covert genocide of some sort, where the rules and the systems are put in place. It was just not possible as a black person to survive in Buenos Aires or in Argentina. So there's slums, I think they're called favelas, where mostly it's the black people who used to live there. There isn't like enough water, the infrastructure is not good. So when Europeans were coming in, and they were coming in with like diseases and stuff, cholera and yellow fever outbreak, like it's the black people that were the first to die. And we are seeing this happening even now as we're having COVID happening in the US, where yes, the percent of people who are dying is high, but then the percentage of black people who are dying in that is even much higher, just because systemically a lot of things have just set up the black community not to be able to thrive. And then let's go back to Argentina. And then another thing that happened is there was a war for Paraguay, where I believe Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay went to war with Paraguay because it was trying to extend its border. Something like that, I'm not very sure. What the president did, Sarmiento, he put all the black people, forcefully recruited black people into the army, and all of them were put in the front line. So we know this, David did this with Bathsheba's husband. If you're in the front line, you're most likely to die, so most of the black people died. And that's why at the moment, like, I think less than 3% of the Argentine population is black. So when I was there, a lot of people thought I was Brasileña, and they'd be like, ah, sos Brasileña? I'm like, nah, I'm Kenyana. I'm Kenyana. But yeah, anyway, that's a little bit of the history and education. So let's go back to Gualeguaychu. When we knew we were going to Gualeguaychu, I think it was like a spur of the decision moment kind of decision, because we didn't have housing, we didn't know how we were going to get there, nothing. We booked a bus. I think it was like a 3.5-5 hour ride to Gualeguaychu. We didn't have a place to stay because all the Airbnbs were full. It's Carnaval, like what do you expect? Then I think it was one of my friends, Katie, one of them, who said that, oh, there's this woman who said that she has a place that we can stay there, like let's go. And we're just like, what do you mean? Like, okay, cool, let's go. So we're in the bus, we're going, we don't even know where we're going, okay? We got to Gualeguaychu at like midnight, 1 a.m. We don't know where exactly we're supposed to be going. You see, the fool, like why are we arriving at midnight? Like why? So we get there, we try to reach this woman, we cannot reach her. We don't know where we're gonna stay. And then I think eventually, like, we got through to her, like we got through to someone who knew her, and then that person called her, and then she was like, ah, oh, bueno, let me go and show you like where you're supposed to be staying. We get there, and it's a bar that is no longer working as a bar, and then they had just put like beds there. There were 5 of us. They put beds there, and that was where we're gonna stay. I mean, it turned out fine because like we used the bar table to have like bartender and drinks and all of that stuff, but we're just like, okay guys, let's just make the best of where we are. So that's where we ended up staying, okay? And then, okay, I'll tell you guys of like the key things that happened in Gualeguaychu. We were there for Carnaval, remember? But like every single night leading up to the Carnival like procession, there's just street parties. You know, like usually you'd have to pay to get into clubs and like all of that stuff, but nah, the party was on the street. Like we were just walking around, we're like, ha! So this is what happens here, hey? And like you just go to a liquor store, you buy your alcohol, you walk around. I don't even think we needed to buy alcohol because people just had like crates of booze everywhere, and like guys are just like offering us alcohol everywhere because like I told you guys in the first video, we were a very weird group of people, a black, an Asian, a Jew, and a redhead. Like you attract attention, like you just attract attention. So we definitely attracted a lot of attention, and like, you know, like Carnival was so much fun. Like I think I danced my feet out, and every single night we went out, you come back during sunrise, or you know, you go eat breakfast and you go to sleep. But one of the nights, what happened was, I don't know at what point, I think, you know, usually we were very good at taking care of each other and like being there for each other and being like, oh wait, is the whole crew here? Yeah, it's here. But it was a short window of time where we had one of our friends, Sky, we had her, and then 10 minutes later we don't have Sky. I'm like, hey Katie, where is Sky? I don't know, I thought you were with her. No, I thought you were with her. You went to the bathroom with her. Where is Sky? Then 2 hours later, we're like going everywhere, tracing our steps. We cannot find Sky. Okay, guys, this was so scary. Right now, we look back, we laugh because we're just like, we were fools. Fools. We look at it, we laugh now. But we were so scared. We're just like, we cannot come to Argentina, Gualeguaychu, and lose our friends. I don't know to what. And then, you know, at that point, you think the worst. You think maybe like traffickers or so we completely could not find her. And I think at like 3:30, 4-ish a.m. we just gave up searching for her. And part of it because we were drunk and we're just, you know, guys, let's have fun, we will deal with this later. And we partied till like 6 a.m. like, and then walked back home during the sunrise. This was the sunrise we were walking back to. Like, how beautiful is it? Like, how beautiful is it? But we didn't have our friend, so we get back home at like 7 a.m. only to find Sky waiting for us at the door. And we're just like, oh my gosh, where were you? We were looking for you everywhere, blah blah blah. And then it just like turns into like this whole story where, I don't know, she thought she was with us and she had followed like a group of people. Turns out we're not there. Then she's trying to find her way back home. It's dark, she doesn't know what street it is. And then eventually in the morning when it became light, she told like one of the guys who was there, like, could you please take me to this area, the name of the area we're staying. And then the guys like brought her there and was like, oh wait, I know where I am. And then she found her way back home. Woo! Thank you, Jesus. What were we gonna tell someone's parents? Like, what were we gonna do? So yeah, good thing we found Sky and we were fine. And then, okay, so another thing that happened, oh my gosh, there was this, when you travel, you're told do not eat street food, but who are we? The fools in Proverbs. So we decided, those burgers were legit. They were so good. But there was this truck that used to sell them. I don't know what they used to put in it, but it was just so good. My friend, the diarrhea that happened in that bar cum accommodation place. Wait. Okay, disclaimer, I was not part of it. This is why I believe as a child you should eat soil, because I used to eat a lot of soil when I was a child.
Jesus is Lord.
So surprisingly, I did not have any running bowel movements, but the rest of us were like, hey, it was crazy. I'm gonna put some clips here of Carnaval and just show you guys like how amazing that it was. Like, first of all, like, those women have really good, beautiful bodies. I don't know, I think one of the things is that the economy is run on Carnaval. Like in Gualeguaychu, they depend on those 3 months of Carnaval to get all the money they need for the rest of the year. So that's what supports the economy. And I think that's what also the women just like do, because just see for yourself. And then after Carnival is over, we all get out, and then there's this fight with foam. I'll put a photo here. The photo looks like we're having fun, but at some point it became annoying because, as I said, we stand out. So we were the target of so many people who kept throwing foam, like foam guns. I can't remember what they were using, but there was just a lot of foam. happening, and I was just like, you guys are ruining my makeup, okay, stop it. And then we left there and went again to party. I think by like, so our schedule was party the whole night, sleep, wake up at around maybe 2, 3, eat, and then laze around, repeat that night. At some point we're just like, yeah, we can't live this life. This is not sustainable. We could not. Yeah, I think that's it for Gualeguaychu. There's just like also other stories which I cannot put on the internet because the internet doesn't forget, so they remain as our own stories for when we have our catch-ups. We're just like, yo guys. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this stories from my passport this episode. Stay tuned for the next one where I'll talk about our trip to Patagonia, our trip to La Plata, and our trip to Iguazu, which is like one of the seven wonders of nature world. All of them were amazing. All of them still had foolery. Hey, you know that clown thing, that clown emoji? We were clowning the whole time. We were clowning. Well, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to my channel, and I would love to see you in the next episode.